Undertale! An indie game nearly completely created by Toby Fox that was released on September 15th, 2015. In comparison, I started the Rhino's Return to Toontown series 2 days later. It quickly received reception and 10 out of 10 scores for its atmosphere, uniqueness, and combat system. It had some nicely fleshed out characters and many fourth wall breaking moments. Its many endings has kept people up and about for months to see what secrets lie for the for those who are witty enough to find them. I'm not taking that out, honestly. It has created probably one of the most infuriating and difficult boss fights in gaming history, while paving a story that can be seen in many different angles through its many routes. Some unused code has been lying around, and we found out about W.D. Gaster. Unfortunately, you can only do so much to a game before it gets boring. You would expect that Undertale would fall out of the mainstream. This is where Undertale defies everything. At first, people were thinking, what if the monsters were cold-blooded rather than good on the inside? Then Underfell became a thing. Then, people thought, what if each pair of characters had their roles swapped? Then Underswap happened. Soon after, everything fell out of control. What if the game took place in another place? What if the game was a horror game? What if I swapped each character pair and made them evil? What if I rearranged the entire character grid? What if Gaster ruined everything? What if the game's code was corrupted, but the game could still run? Alternate universes in Undertale have become so ingrained into the community that regular community members refer to this guy as Sans from Undertale. Why? Because they know that someone in the community will think of the many variations of Sans that have been created rather than the original. I know that it's not as bad as Minecraft's widespread appeal or even FNAF's relentless branding and rushed cash grab sequels, but Jesus Christ, it's so obnoxious. I mean, the community isn't as bad as, say, the Toontown community, but that's for a different time. But alternate universes are horrible with Undertale and end up going far beyond the source material of the original. Eventually, a random jokester that has some occasional serious moments becomes serious and depressed all the time. And some of the user-generated content that revolve around these AUs are just bad. When I made Underfell, I did it out of frustration with not only the quality of the videos, but also how Underfell was represented. What I originally saw was a melodramatic goat flower and a whole cast of edgy psychopaths with no redeeming qualities. I wanted to create a story where most of the monsters in the underground were so infuriated by the death of Azrael that they were put in a state of malice and hatred, or hatred and malice. Although not all monsters were put into what I call a red state, some would call it evil. Some would fall into the state before or even after your arrival to the underground. When a monster turns white, it has learned from its mistakes and becomes good-hearted again. Human characters, unlike the monsters, remain unchanged from Undertale throughout the entire story, which includes Chara. I wanted to keep the essential core of Undertale and many of its values, while adding some new levels of redemption in the mix. That's hard to do when you're a high school student that has high expectations from parents. So, unfortunately, I have to do what has been not only the unthinkable for me and you, but what will also drop my sub count by probably over 1,000 subscribers. I'm canceling Underfell. Why? Because of my interests. Underfell is just boring. Like, not only with what I just said, but also the process of animating the animations. Like, the first part if that wouldn't have gotten in the way of my new planned new animation method, I probably would have made an episode 3, but of course Undertale is boring for me now in general, so it's crap. Not to mention that Underfell was simply a side story in the other world or timeline, so you know. Sadly, this cancellation also means that I will resign as writer from Team Sprite Edgy's own Underfell fan game. It has nothing to do with the team behind it, but solely because I want Undertale out of my life. So I apologize to everyone who had actually believed that I could pull this off. Apparently I couldn't. Sub if you want to. I just don't want to deal with Underfell and the consistent sub drop every time I release a new video. Like, seriously, just unsub now. It's over. I'll still be making content on this channel, just not with Underfell. Maybe one more Undertale video, but it won't be Underfell related. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.